taking the new time zones. There's 8 watches in the day. So evening chores, that's first watch, that's between 3 and 6. Morning chores, that's the 5th watch, that's between 6 and 9, and then 9 to 12, that's like you go to work then. So it's the 7th watch, kind of the end of the working day.
But where are we at here? It's like,
We're in the glass shop.
there you go.
We're in the glass shop, and we're working on Tony's car. We've actually done a couple videos of this, sort of followed through different pieces, different parts, and on BC. Where those are composites, that's where we're at. Those are composites, and Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars, behind the camera. He's the keystroke behind Trinity, and if I'm selling a car, they're cool cars, but you might be talking to Josh. I don't know. You never know.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Yeah.
Did you get your own Facebook page finally?
No.
No? How you-
Using other Bob's.
Okay. Anyway, there's that. It's a track nose, sorta, kinda. It's a track car, sorta, kinda. It's Tony's car. It's Tony's vision. We had it set up on the car. It looked pretty darn cool. It looked like a rocket ship that should be on the salt flats. John's, his dad used to be a crop duster. We started building this. He said that looks like an airplane front. So it kind of does. It looks pretty cool. It's a 23 cowl hood. It comes to attaches to a 32 short and grill shell. That comes to attaches to our sort of track nose with wings on it. That comes and attaches to track nose by a different company. We cut this center out, and it all goes. So we got it all glassed together. The top section is a couple. What I did, I took in the fiberglass. This is pretty thick, but I got just sheets of fiberglass. I took one that wasn't so thick and bent easier, moved it around, glassed it in. So got the shape of it all there. Turned it over, ground the inside, ground the inside, ground the inside. Got my fiberglass itch going, and I was ready. And then we glassed the entire inside after the fact. So it's not real thick, but it's got this shape underneath, and it's glass, so it's real strong. So now what I want to do, we've extended this because the regular track nose, our track nose fits a 23 grill shell, but then the track nose that we're blending to fits a smaller grill shell, radiator, I mean. And so we had to extend this to make it all work. So on ours grill, it's only this big, but it needs a wing coming all the way back. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on. I'm going to make this polybond this, and we're just going to do this thing live. I got the boys back there. They're doing fiberglass right now, but they're going to help me in a second. And so this is a product I call it polybond because what we used to use was called polybond, but it's basically a polyester resin with some fillers in it. We make putty here too for what we do, but this one is pre-made, comes in barrels, but we get it in 5-gallon pails. Works out really good for bonding, strong. It's used, I guess, in the boating industry for bonding transoms in and things like that. I use this is a catalyst, same for fiberglass. It's a polyester thing, like I said. It's red, it has a red dye in there. That red dye vanishes as it warms up. But the reason we got the red dye in there, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but as I'm mixing it, I can see whether it's all mixed in or not. And it's pretty important that you get it all mixed in. So, got that. Now I gotta work fairly quick, but this isn't like Bondo. I've got probably, 4, 5, 6 minute window, 7 minute window, maybe more than that. And all I'm gonna do with this, I wanna get rid of my air gaps, and I wanna get it to stick. So I'm just going to put it in here like this, and when I put my fiberglass, I've sanded everything, of course. Don't put fiberglass on something that's not sanded. So this is just going to kind of help the air gaps when I put the fiberglass on there, and I'll roll it out. I try to clean my board and clean my spreaders when you're done, but obviously that's not going to happen on this project because we're going to just go live and I'll be talking. So Put it on the right way. So that's kind of the shape I want there. Now let's see what the guys are doing back here. We got some glass ready, sort of. We can come back here. You guys rolling away? Oh, it's kicking on you. I got my chopper gun, but I lost Josh though.
I'm over here.
How much more they can eat?
I'm gonna need about 3 more pieces.
That big?
About that big, yeah. So give me 3 more pieces that big. Yeah. Bring it on over. He's wetting out some parts over there. That's the chopper gun. You pull the trigger all the way and chop comes out. But this is just an easier way to do it. You can do it like this at home without the gun. You just have to mix up the resin first and do it. What I want to do, I want to lay this across the entire thing here. So I'm not going to have to worry about stress cracks happening or anything like that. And just roll it out after it's all on.
And this is just 1.5 ounce mat, correct?
It's 1.5 ounce mat, correct. Make sure that all the air bubbles get out though. You can kind of, I got a little bit of a crease in there. Now it'll work out, and I'm going to do this probably with a brush instead of a roller, just because it'll work out fine like that.
The extended top mold, for anybody that's watching it, is getting close. Bob just got to do some buffing on it. I know people's called on it.
Yeah, that will be a major deal. You're talking about the extended.
Yep.
We had a regular, and we would always have to cut it and make it work. And we're pretty excited because that's going to fit. Big John, gonna stick it on over there? Stick it on over there. Kind of going around that way. Hey, you know, I got rid of the goats yesterday.
How many?
We had a goat, called him Big John. This is Big John.
Big John.
Big John. Yeah, he was helping me at the farm. It was a new boy and a new girl. Billy, or not a Billy, but a buck and a doe. We got dairy goats. And she just wasn't having of it. So, should have had the video for that. It was awesome. Old Big John, the pimp here.
Oh God, here we go.
It was awesome.
Time's worth money.
He was hanging on to her, and he was, oh boy, I'm not sure. He was almost impregnated by a goat. It was awesome. We got the best laugh out of that.
Yeah.
We'd have gone viral with that video. Anyway,
How many more you want?
give me about 3 more. That was, who was that? That was Willow. That was Willow. One of the twins, Willow. So she had twin boys. So of course we had to name one Big John.
So how long does this kick? Takes to kick.
Depends on the weather. We're looking at pretty warm today. You want to go about 1.5%. You're looking at 10 minutes. It'll start turning green. So if it starts turning green, you're kind of in trouble. You want to catch it before it does that. My main thing I want to do, I want to come down wherever I had a seam on here. I want to get down past that seam, come around this way. I already bought this is fiberglass under here. So as I put it together, I had a fiberglass to hold it together, and then I polybonded the top of it so I could get the whole structure right, and then go underneath and glass the bottom. So now we glass the top. I'll sand this tomorrow, and then bondo. It's not as easy to, I mean, it's just kind of rough. You got to body work it. But it's like Roth used to do it. He used to fill this stuff in plaster like this, and then glass over the plaster. And then once he did that, they would knock the plaster out. I learned that from, I believe, Dennis, his son, maybe Reno, I don't know. I guess old Big Daddy, he would make his, give me two more. Old Dennis, Reno, Big Daddy would make his kids sand the fiberglass. So they had fond memories of sanding fiberglass for some of them cool cars that we all thought was awesome that they build models out of, so. We're getting pretty. And can you bring me a brush back too, would you? Thank you. So I come around this side. The main thing was getting this, so I got it glued together, putting that tab on there, and this is still soft. I don't have a lot of time left. This is going to start kicking pretty quick. You can see it's still wet. But once that starts kicking, this will actually kick before the fiberglass does now. So I've got to get this rolled out and blend it in, otherwise it's gonna be a mess. So you get that over here. This has been glassed in the front. I don't need to glass that. I just need a couple pieces over here, and then we can dab away and be done. Although I got the word of the day. I'm not gonna open my Bible. Don't believe me, it's in Proverbs, probably, I don't know where it is, Proverbs 12. Can you open it? Is it 13 somewhere? Something 13, 12, or something like that? I have a little piece of paper there. Basically it says, a man makes a plan in his heart, but the Lord orders his footsteps. It's in Proverbs. What do I got, more than one bookmark in there?
Yeah.
Over here?
Yeah, we can put it there.
You want to go get some more?
Huh?
You want some more?
No, that's good. I got that glassed already. Are you done back there? Can you get a brush and dab on this?
Yeah, I got the
Oh, you got the brush? Can you dab? Or are you working on the other piece too?
I think we'll spray another piece real quick.
You gotta do the other piece? Okay. Once you get in the glass, so you don't have a lot of time, you just better get it done. So I can just dab here. So a man makes a plan in his heart, but the Lord orders his footsteps. And Google it. It'll get you one of those if you don't believe me. And I found that to be true. Even on this, I got thinking about that. You know, we had a plan for this, and how I wanted it to come together. But as I'm doing it, it took some turns and twists. Generally, it's got the shape we were looking for, but that didn't work. This had to go, and we had to change this up a little bit. We had to do some things. In the Hebrew language, I found out that there is no word and there is no concept for coincidence. It's all, God has a plan. We may not know what it is, but he has a plan, and all we got to do is kind of take the first step. Once you take the first step, get that done. Don't worry about second step till you get your first step done. After you take a few steps, you may be confident enough you just might start running. You never know. You know what, I think I'll finish out. I don't know if I've ever done this on video. I know I've done it hundreds and hundreds of times probably, but I grew up in the church, and religious. Man, we had the Chester pew. You didn't even sit in the wrong spot in the pew. But I seen no power there. I seen nothing very interesting there. It was a lot of religion. So I had a good head knowledge about Christ and about the Bible and all that, but I didn't see no power. I seen a lot of hypocrisy. And so through school, I'm an hot rod guy. I'm about power. I like to see things happen. I like it to move and go, and it's got to be real. So I remember I made some Jesus freak cry back in the day. If he'd have stood his ground way back then, who knows? That might have changed my life a little bit earlier. But anyway, I wound up, had my own business, right out of high school. Back then, you could actually buy a house. Bought my house. Had a nice 4-car garage behind the house, and I had a body shop, and I am Mr. Cool Dude. Plenty of work, just building cars, doing my thing, and it burned down. And in a sense, I lost everything I had. But when that happened, I realized I had everything I needed in Jesus. So it went from knowing about Christ and all of the whole cross and all that. I knew about it, but it went from knowing about it to I knew Christ. So I went from knowing about him to knowing him. And I took the adventure of, if it's either true or it's not. And if it's not right, if it's not true, it's a lie. So if you said it, you got to do it. And I was almost like a kid in a candy store without balance. And we grow in grace and knowledge. So I would, if I'd seen it and I believed it said to do something, I'd go for it. So it's been a pretty big adventure. That was probably about 19. I was about 19 years old then, maybe 20. And at this point in life, I've seen God do so many things. It's crazy. But I said that whole story to get to this one, to finish up. I'm about done dabbing here. You want to dab all the air out. I don't have my glasses on, but I'm not going to put them on. But make sure all the air is out. Air is the enemy over here. But I draw and I do a little bit. I'm just not fond of it, so I don't do a lot of painting or drawing. But I like to sculpt if I'm going to do something or whatever. But so I drew my plan. I had an art book, and I drew my plan. And I don't know if you all remember Body by Fisher. So Fisher Body would make the bodies for General Motors. So I wanted Body by BC. So I guess you could say that's come to I'm creating bodies. So I guess I get to do that. Music. I've been involved with music a lot, but I never had the desire, the dream to be the rock and roll star. But music was a part of everything, and it came to the point where back when drums were still the devil and churches didn't even want them in there, I was doing a lot of contemporary music. I did play other music in other venues, and when I met my wife and couldn't invite her to go to hear me play because of some of the places we had been, they all had histories, I decided, wait a minute, this is not a good thing. So I quit doing that, didn't play for quite a while, but then I started playing, and I played in, I don't know, I'd be playing every night. We played in a youth band at this church and the praise band at another one. We had a side band where we would go out and play revivals and just independent concerts or whatever you want to call them. And it did that so I had music was in my picture everywhere. My grandfather's name is Jesse Chester, and my dad's name is James. So my first son was going to be Jesse James. And I have a son. I have one son now. I work for him. This is his company. His name's Jesse James Chester. And so I wish I'd have saved the picture but as I grew older and I've seen, and God, life goes on, and I never expected any of this. I got married and it's like, God gave me the desire of my heart. God will give you the desire of your heart, but there's one thing you've got to remember. Let him put the desire there. I mean, we can get our own desires and get our own things, and they're not good for us. But if we let God put the desire in our heart, then we can move towards it. And as we move towards it, we can still our minds, I'm going to do it my way, I'll do it my way. Well, that might be fine. But as long as we're aiming in God's direction, a man can make the plan in his heart, but God will order your footsteps. So I don't know if my footsteps or my hand was driven or whatever. I didn't want to exactly do it this way, but this is the way it turned out. And dang it, if it don't look pretty cool to me. Hopefully, Tony, you love it. Tomorrow I'm just going to sling some mud and send it back up to Spirit, and I can do the body work, and you guys can fit it up to the car. I don't know if it's going to be a tilt hood or what's going to go on with it next, but my job here is just about finished. So till next time, y'all have a blessed.